everybody. Welcome back to another Midweek Connect. We are going to continue taking our viewer questions. And so if you have a question you'd like us to answer on Midweek Connect, you can either reply to the email that you got this video in, or you can send an email to office@norwinchristianchurch.com, and we'd be happy to add it to the list. So today we're going to look at a question about what does God mean when he calls himself I am in the book of Exodus. And so to give a little bit of a context, in Exodus 3, we have Moses and God having kind of a conversation at the burning bush. And so if we go to chapter 3, verse 13 through 15, it says, "Then Moses asked God, 'If I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What should I tell them?' God replied to Moses, 'I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you.' God also said to Moses, 'Say this to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever. This is how I am to be remembered in every generation.'" And so when we look at I am and also the word he uses later, Lord, they originally come from the Hebrew, and it's just our consonants, YHWH. The Jewish people held God in such high regard and such respect because of his holiness that they did not want to even speak his name aloud. And so they used those letters, and as time went on, that went on to become the word that we know today as Yahweh. But also in our English Bibles, anytime you see Lord written in all capitals, that's that same word. And so that's that word that means that God is self-existent and unchanging. He's the only God that exists, in contrast maybe to the false gods that the Egyptians would have been worshiping at that same time in Moses' history. God always was and always would be. And that's what he was expressing first and foremost in calling himself I am. If we look at Psalm chapter 90, verse 2, it says, "Before the mountains were born, before you gave birth to the earth and to the world, from eternity to eternity, you are God." And then also in Isaiah chapter 43, verses 10 and 11, "You are my witnesses. This is the Lord's declaration. And my servant whom I have chosen, so that you may know and believe me and understand that I am he. No God was formed before me, and there will be none after me. I am the Lord." The thing about that term, I am, is that in our English, we just think of that as kind of one of those state of being verbs. Going back to my elementary school teaching days, be, am, is, are, was, were, been. But in Hebrew, to be doesn't just mean to merely exist. It's not just a state of being. It means to express oneself in active being. So God wasn't just saying, I am in existence. He was saying, I am with you. I am for you. I am fighting for your well-being. And so if we jump back in Exodus chapter 3 again and go down to verses 16 and 17, God says, "Go and assemble the elders of Israel and say to them, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me and said, I have paid close attention to you and to what has been done to you in Egypt, and I have promised you that I will bring you up from the misery of Egypt to the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey." God reveals his name as I am, as Yahweh, as the Lord, but then he prepares to perform a redemptive work for the Israelites. He is getting ready to show his power and might by sending 10 plagues, and then ultimately by bringing the Israelites up out of Egypt. That shows that he is the one and only God in existence from eternity to eternity. But it also shows that he is actively with and for his people.